GN Sports Show, powered by the Calvin Ayre Foundation.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of the GN Sports Show. We are now into Season 6, Episode 3, with me, George Saul Dublin, and my co-host.
I'm Terry Andrew. Thank you so much for joining us here on the GN Sports Show.
Yes, we have some U15 players in the house in our Rising Star segment. We have Dejante Allen and Rejon Valerie of the Generation Next Football Club. We also will be talking to our UK correspondent, the Global Showcase event host, Jay Brittle, will be here with us, Terry.
Certainly, and also you'll hear from the president of the Antigua and Barbuda Football Association. What is in store for Antigua and Barbuda and the football fraternity, the clubs, the coaches, and just the entire fraternity here in Antigua and Barbuda. You'll hear from Ickford Roberts, the newly elected president of the Antigua and Barbuda Football Association. Plus, an interesting topic here on the GN Sports Show. The energy drinks, the dangers, the good, the bad, and the ugly of those energy drinks. You'll hear from our doctor in the house, physiologist and sports science doctor Rick Millis. He will join us in our medical feature that you will get only here on the GN Sports Show.
Yeah, definitely, Terry. With all that, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with the GN Sports Show.
Our vision is to become the premier platform for showcasing and empowering young student athletes, providing them with the tools and exposure to excel both in sports and life, while shaping the next generation of confident, media-savvy leaders. The GN Sports Show is dedicated to highlighting the talent and stories of young student athletes across all sports disciplines. We aim to equip them with vital media exposure and public speaking skills, helping them grow into confident individuals both on and off the field. Through engaging interviews, mentorship, and real-world media experiences, we strive to foster personal and professional development that supports their athletic journeys.
And welcome back to the GN Sports Show. We are now in our Rising Star segment, and we have on set two Generation Next U15 players. We have with us Dejante Allen and Rejon Valerie. Gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, Terry, just before you start, I coach these two kids. They just come to Generation Next.
Okay, but you guys love football, right?
Yeah.
Nice, man. Don't worry. We'll talk.
Terry.
We'll talk. Rejon, let's start with you. You went to the barbershop today to do your hair for the Generation X Sports Show.
Yes, I did.
Listen, I think you're the first person to come on here with a hairdo, and you went to the barbershop to look spiffy for us. So that's 10 points already for you, Rejon. So you can say anything you want on the GN Sports Show, okay?
Anything you want.
Yeah, anything you want, just because you went to the barbershop, because you're coming to the GN Sports Show. Why football? Why not basketball or cricket?
I just have like a closer relationship to football. Actually, just getting into football.
Yes.
Before football, I was thinking of basketball, but I just didn't really have the ability or mentality to try it.
Okay, but you're 13 years old. Yes, listen, you can try anything you want, not just football alone. I mean, I only played football, but still. What about you, Dejante? Any other sport?
I was thinking of either football or cricket, but I had a love for football when I was younger, and my mom and my dad and my grandma especially encouraged me to play more football.
Okay.
And for basketball, I'm too short for that.
That's okay. But you look like a domino. You look like a domino player. you look like a domino player, Dejante. So.
When they say too short for basketball, what do you mean? Because
yeah, you can point guard.
For our basketball, the height doesn't matter. A basketball, I don't think your height doesn't matter. If you're pursuing a basketball career, then it might matter. You understand what I'm saying? But I played basketball and I'm not that much taller than you.
Yeah, man.
I was
most
right. I'm not like Terry. Choose one sport. I tried to play everything because each one help each one. Meaning, like in basketball, certain things you're going to do in basketball that could help your football. But certain things you do in football help your basketball. It's just, I was told that by a Yugoslavian coach back in this. I played both.
But I was just horrible. I was just horrible at everything else.
But how he tells he should have been a good fast bowler and a good basketball, innit?
Don't let the hype fool you. I was horrible at everything else.
So what school you go to, Rejon?
I attend to Antigua Grammar School.
And you?
I attend Antigua Grammar School as well.
Those are sports school. Those are football, cricket,
Really
basketball, running. Come on, boys.
And on what farm you in? Rajan?
Second form.
And you?
Second form.
Both in the same farm and are the same
And
class.
class.
Same farm and same class.
And class.
Hold on. Did you guys talk to one another when you were going football and say, hey, I'm going to join Generation X? You know, come? That's how it worked?
I said that personally had the idea to join as well.
Because our friend Jaden Hughes, at first he was in Generation Next and he told us about it.
Okay.
So that's the reason.
Jane Hughes, big up. Thank you
Yeah.
for bringing the boys to Generation X. Yeah, and how you guys been liking it so far?
I'm loving it.
It's been good. It's been good.
Okay, first of all, you can say anything you want, okay? What about your coach? Tell me about your coach.
Speak the truth, eh? Don't
Tell me about your coach, buddy.
whatever type of person he is, let the audience know.
Okay, yeah. Sometimes he can be a bit strict towards the demonstrations of the sessions, but most of the time it's just flowing. We just practice with matches or cones, sticks, a lot of stuff to help us with our control and stuff.
Okay.
So it's good sessions with him most of the time.
You like it?
Compared to the under 13 I've seen, it's a lot of working and conditioning.
Okay, you like your coach?
I like it.
What about you, DeJounte? Tell us about the sessions.
The sessions are very good. The coach as well very good. The technique that he uses are very good, but he's very strict on what he does, and he always like composure, behavior, and he likes when we play well. If you don't play well, then we just run laps.
Okay, hold on. Why do you think he's strict with you guys?
Because I think he's strict with us because he wants us to turn out as very good football players, to get scholarships, to go overseas and get better opportunities to play internationally.
Why do you think he's strict with you guys?
I feel the same way as well because we're getting older. Like the under 13 have a little more time to practice and get better, but we're already going up to the big leagues, if you know what I mean. Okay. So I feel like that's why he's more.
So hold on, how long you guys been playing football?
Like a couple months.
On the month stage?
Yeah, 4 years.
Okay. So tell me the positions. DeJounte, start with you. What position you play?
I play right wing, or sometimes I play attacking midfield.
Okay, and you?
Before I was in the defense, like fullback, but now I play left wing and right wing.
Okay.
They talk about the coach, but
Yeah.
and from I've been listening, and from what I've been gathering, this coach seems like he has the right ideas and how to help players to get where they want to go. So I want to know who's your coach. That's first of all.
You?
Me. so me don't have a name.
Our coach name is Coach George.
Alright, Coach George. Well, to be honest, I don't like the terminology strict. I just think if you watch something, you shouldn't be the one making a mistake by doing the wrong thing. You could make a mistake by not doing it properly because you might not. You know what I'm saying? Because you haven't done it before or you're not that good at it. But to be 7 or 8 in the line, and when you reach to the front of the line, that is what has tripped me off the most, Terry. As a coach, if I'm coaching something and then when you get to the front of the line from the 7th person and you do totally contrary to what is being done, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that would have happened to them, you know what I'm saying? But just that is one of the things that I just be hard on them for, because it means they're not paying attention. And I'm saying it's for me. When I coach, this is how I coach. I expect when you leave from by me and go and play for somebody else, that coach should never ever look at you and ask, wait, how many coach you didn't even do no work with you? I don't care how bad you was or how. I want any player that leave from by me, when they go to anybody else, that person does not have to say, no, ask them where they was before, who was there. You know what I'm saying? They just flow. And all that coach has to know is improve on whatever they come with. You understand what I'm saying? So I take a lot of pride in the behavior, the technique, and the way in which the energy they bring to the game. Because if you don't have those things, I don't think you have a chance.
So you guys got a good guys in your corner that is looking out for your well-being. All right, let's talk about the academics now, the school part. Rajan, let's talk about you. How are you in school? Are you?
But you going to grammar school, Terry?
Yeah, no, but you can go up there and play close to the wall. You guys play close to the wall with the 25 cents and get it close to the wall. You guys can go to school to play close to the wall. But tell me about school.
I'm doing decent in school right now. I think I'm interested in integrated science now and physical education. Like, it's the most interesting thing for me because integrated science is full of many other topics dealing with science, and physical education can help me with football also.
the subjects that you don't like?
Everything else.
Everything else. So all the other teachers but the integrated science teacher.
So out of curiosity, John, how much subjects you do?
13.
So 12 subjects on the table. No, sorry, 10 because you like 2.
It's not like I hate them, but
John, I
it's just-
think you're the problem at this point. I think you're the problem at this point. John.
Yeah, we think it's the problem at this point.
Wait, we're coming back to you. DeJounte, what about you?
I have a love for agriculture science. It's my favorite
Okay.
subject at the moment because I love being the earth. I love taking care of plants and animals, and it's just overall a great subject. Along with the teacher.
Okay, your mom and dad is farmer. Anybody in your family farmer?
No, but we have plants in the yard. I take care of them, water them, and so.
Okay. That's a new one, George.
We have agriculture.
You have some-
We don't have mathematicians.
Yeah, we have some science men in here. Okay. So how you guys balance the schoolwork with the football?
Since the football it's not that long of a session, I can still go home and do my study for exam that we have next week actually.
Okay.
To move up to third form. It's not that hard to balance it since we have the whole day since we go to school, and only an hour is taken away from our day.
So
It's an hour and a half session. We change from
Yes.
about 4 to half past.
So you guys don't do football in school?
Well, no, we don't play football for the school.
Okay.
We just go and play for fun.
Okay.
So
okay.
any one of you I'm hoping that both you have ambitions to represent grammar school before y'all leave grammar school.
Yeah,
innit?
definitely.
Yeah,
Later down in this year.
Later down in this year.
That's on the 16. You guys on the 15? Was it on the 15 or on the 16?
No, on
On the
16.
16.
On 16 and in primary school. Okay. I mean, listen, it's fun though. It's fun. But when you do your work, mommy and daddy can't say, "Hey, no football today." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you gotta keep both up. But you guys seems like cool kids. I don't know. Okay. So what you guys want to do with the sport? Where you see yourself going in the sport? What you want to do?
Well, I'm striving to become a professional football player at the moment.
Okay.
I'm looking for clubs like Wolves, Arsenal, Manchester United. I'm just trying my best, working hard to see if I can achieve those goals.
Okay. What about you?
I also think I have the mentality to become a professional footballer. But if that doesn't work out somehow, I feel like I would want to be a pilot.
Okay. A backup plan to back up the backup plan. Okay. That's all. But you're gonna have to like all those teachers.
Yeah.
No. Listen. If you don't like those teachers, you're not gonna go. You have to do all those subjects that
Yeah.
require you to becoming a pilot and what's not, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So just to go a bit and expand a bit on football, just a couple of more minutes. In world football, what's your favorite team?
My favorite team, FC Bayern Munich.
And you?
I have a love for City.
City?
Okay.
So you right now you're mourning then, because Arsenal in win the championship. So you're mourning and you
Hey,
are in the world because you won the Bundesliga.
Yeah.
So who's your favorite player in Bayern Munich?
Probably Jamal Musiala or Olise.
And
Okay.
You like Man City?
Haaland.
Just Haaland.
Striving right now, so.
So Haaland alone.
That's enough.
Sure, Keena raising an eyebrow.
he just come on the scene, and I really like it too much yet.
Just
But
get the back up.
yeah.
So
But he nice though. He nice.
what you okay, right? So I got ask you some football. And I like to ask football questions. So I got started you. Bayern Munich get knocked out in the Champions League. What do you think was the problem?
The problem, actually I don't think there was any problem, but I feel like there was some issues about the referee being quite unfair.
Okay.
There was 2 handballs and they were not given to Bayern Munich, where they could have scored to tie up the aggregate.
All of us blame referee for everything, right?
Yes.
But what about the things that we can control? And if you're going to become one of those top players, you're going to have to move past that and bounce back from that. Maybe you're right. But the referee is always going to be. If me and you go down the line and you push me and me push you back, you go look for the ref and me go look for the ref. Yeah, that's just how the game is played nowadays. You know what I mean? And they are going to make mistakes, of course. You're going to make mistakes as well. But if you're going to tell about ref and this and the other and the other and the other,
Well,
don't move past that, man.
Sometimes the refs and then decide some games. So I could understand your feeling, but I think in 90 minutes, y'all had enough opportunities to get yourself back in the Senate, and that didn't happen. But I could understand you. Now, for you now, Mr. DeJounte, you know that
You guys want enough, so you don't want to get somebody as another winning. That's okay. You can use that too.
We could have been waiting for this weekend to decide the championship, and y'all just went and draw. You know, how you feel about that?
We went and draw because we felt bad for the other team. And we wanted to give them a chance. So we just let them go with us.
Listen, Terry, we let the two young fellas get out of the show.
You kept them in second place for 3 years, right? And you just wanted to give them a chance this time, right?
So that was it. Yeah,
listen,
some pity.
Give them a chance.
Listen, the whole football world is kind of wanting Man City next right now because Arsenal are celebrating since that. And that was a Wednesday game. They're going to celebrate from Wednesday. It was Wednesday or Tuesday? Tuesday. They celebrated from Tuesday all the way to Sunday, and they're going to celebrate all summer. Yeah. Man, thank God we have the World Cup that we're going to have to keep them quiet for a little bit. Right. But they're going to celebrate until next season.
They still water
That's
bottles.
the problem.
They're
still water bottles. So
hey, listen, you know they say they're going to win next year, and they're going to win the year after. No Pep gone. So that's Man City's fault.
Definitely. Well, fellas, you know, I think both y'all have some potential. As I say, I think for most young players, it's application, how bad they want it. But showing up to training every day and running every day, but not learning or keeping nothing that is being taught, you're not going to get any better. You understand what I'm saying? So you can come training every session, but you have to go with something as a footballer. So you will come training and tell yourself, okay, right, I pour at side volleys. When we're doing that, you work extra hard to get in the side volleys. You understand what I'm saying? Then maybe next week now you could say, all right, a little bit more pour on chesting, then you could work on that. But it makes no sense to go and do an hour and a half session and enjoy and have a good time where you didn't learn nothing or you didn't get better at nothing. The only way to improve as anything, I would say, but football is it. You have to want to go with something. That's what I'm saying, because this is me. When I done coach today, tomorrow when you come, I'm looking to see if what I did last week stays, or where the last training session stays. But that's how you get better. I can't assess you if every time you come, what I did last week is not there. So that's just my bit of advice to both.
Yeah, be sponges. And you guys know who you're learning from. This is former national captain of Antigua and Barbuda.
Yeah, I didn't know that, innit?
You guys didn't know that?
No, I know. You and Ayre played on the national side.
Back up. I don't know why. Listen.
We didn't play
Anytime you Generation Next kids come here, you guys always put in the same topic with
coach of Generation Next too.
Yeah, hey, we understand. Playing wise on the national stage, you guys are learning from one of the best. I'm just putting that part out there. So you guys suck up everything. You guys ask questions, be sponges. And listen, don't be afraid, because and you know, with coaches, they like when you ask questions, so they see, well, hey, okay, this youth man, I think differently than anybody else I'm coaching. But all the best to you guys.
Thank you.
I hope you guys come back. All right, we've been talking to DeJounte Allen and Rajon Valentine. They are on the 15 players at Generation Next FC. We'll be right back with more here on the GN Sports Show.
Good evening and welcome back to the GN Sports Show. And on set with me is Jay Brittle. He's in charge of Global Youth Tours. So Jay, just give the people a little introduction on yourself here for us as we start this interview.
Yeah, thanks for having me on call, guys. So as you said, my name is Jay Brittles. I'm the head of global recruitment at Your Tour, and I'm also heading up at what we call the Global Showcase in the UK. So it's an amazing programme which we'll discuss on call here today, and we'll probably go into a little bit more about Your Tour and also what our projects are in the UK and how we can impact players across the globe.
All right, definitely. Good stuff. So we see that you've been in post U16 education for several years and international football recruitment. How does the combination of education and sport shaped your approach to athletic development?
Yeah, so being from Liverpool, being from one of the hottest cities for football in the UK, we've got plenty of good footballers on the floor here, from grassroots right the way to professional teams, and not every player can make it as a professional athlete. That's just the reality of sport. So one thing we utilised very quickly was the vehicle of education to give players a pathway beyond just being an athlete. So from 2008 right the way through to where we're at today. Our education programme in the UK has 750 students studying post-16 education courses, which will give them a pathway into university, into scholarships, into full-time employment, and in many cases it combines football as a full-time element, so that can run alongside their education. So for me, outcomes is a really big thing when working with young players and working with students. If we are doing something for a young person, there's got to have an end goal for it.
Definitely. For our viewers and our listeners who will be hearing about your tour, the global showcase you are putting out for the first time, what's the main goal behind the program?
Yeah, so the global showcase, it's a truly immersive experience. It offers international players access to elite level training environments, exposure to professional clubs and college coaches, and we provide them with the opportunity to compete against some of the best teams and players in the UK, all whilst being guided and developed by a former English Premier League manager in Gary Monk, who's been at Swansea, he's been at Leeds, he's been at Birmingham City as well. So the vision behind it was simple. We wanted to create something that went beyond the traditional showcase model. Normally, you get hundreds of players attend maybe one game or a short stay with different organisations, but we wanted to give something that was a little bit more in detail, if you like. So we give them good coaching, good feedback. We give them a little bit of education on the floor. We set them up in an environment that reflects that of an academy, and we try and help them understand where their next steps could be within the game or within the industry.
Oh, nice. Well, those kind of things are always good for young athletes, to help them progress, because sometimes if you leave it up to them, they're not going to get that set of that education, that work, that let's say not criticism, but that guidance to fix what's wrong and to improve on what is already going well. Well, most of your work involves creating opportunities for young athletes. So what is the biggest challenge in young athletes transitioning from local football to international football?
That's a good question, that one. So I'll work on sort of the US players and sort of international players that we've had coming to the UK. So we often will work with guys who have played at a high level within their area, within their district, and sometimes we've even gone to national level in their home country. But as I said at the very start of this call, the competitive football scene in the UK, in particular the Northwest, is probably one of the most competitive environments in world football. So what we like to think is that the step from those guys being a very top player at their college or at their local club or even in their region, stepping into the UK in the Northwest is going to give them a real brand new challenge and an insight really of what they need to make it at that next level, whether that be semi-pro, whether that be professional, or whether that's just simply combining a university education alongside full-time football. I think for me, in order for players in countries where football, soccer might not be the first sport, in England it's our passion. So if you were able to have the opportunity to come here and stay and learn and sort of challenge yourself, you're going to be a much better player for it, but you'll also find your level whilst you are here too.
Good. So the showcase is most about like the exposure of players to recruiters and the stakeholders and so on, right? But like beyond the talent and the field, what are some of the things you look for in young players to know if they could go all the way, if they might be able to make it to the semi-pro level, just the things that you look for so that you can help them to get to that next level outside of the footballing talents?
Yeah, so character is definitely one. So in the traditional showcase setups, you don't spend enough time with the players to get to know them. So you might see them on the pitch for maybe 45 minutes, 90 minutes if they're lucky, couple of games worth maybe if they're even further lucky to that. What we do is we spend a real intense time period with the player where we're staying with the players. So they reside at our accommodation. So a member of staff is with them at all times, and we get to know the characters, we get to know what they like, we get to know sort of the strengths, areas for improvement, not only as a player, but also as a person. And with that, the coaching team, Gary, Stuart, they form an opinion of this player sort of around football as well as the person that they see on the pitch. And in that way, we can then help that player outside of football too. So we had a great showcase event happened that in Thanksgiving last year. We had boys from all over the globe come and attend it. Some of them who were the better players were actually very introverted. So the development points wasn't necessarily always on the pitch. It was about their character and building character away from the pitch that would help them secure and take those next steps as a pro footballer.
So just to add a bit on that question, do you think a player who is more self-sustained, who keeps himself more out to a player who is more involved in the group, does it help the development more when you're self-sustained or when you're more within the group?
I think it depends on the character, definitely. As I say, the person I'm thinking of in mind was very introverted, but he was on the pitch, he was very vocal, he was a leader, he could play. He is representing a team at professional level, which is very good as well. But I think for him to take the next step up in his professional game, he probably needs to be a little bit more extrovert around people, around the dressing room, around the social interactions is probably the right word. Right. So I think there's room for both types of characters. I don't think one's better than the other. I just think that in a game where it's a team sport, sometimes maybe you just have to give a little bit more in the social aspect as well as on the pitch.
All right, good stuff. So you have done showcases in the UK and you have done showcases in Spain, right? And what's the difference in those two in terms of talent and characteristics?
Yeah. So our camps in Spain and sort of our opportunities in Spain meant that we attracted probably players who come from South America, had maybe Hispanic backgrounds, and obviously language was a very easy transition for them when they were in Spain. The game is highly technical. It's still highly technical in the UK as well. So there's a bit of a lifestyle, culture and language choice with players who go there. Whereas the players that we have coming to the UK probably see the Premier League as the pinnacle of the game and want to go right to the heart of where the pinnacle of the game is and really test themselves at the highest level. So in terms of differences and key differences, I think it just comes down to where the player sees that their sort of personality and their ability fitting, and we can help sort of on both parts with that.
All right. So in terms of education, how does the education part of it sits? Like when you want to evaluate a young player for opportunities overseas, how important is education towards that, helping that person to get into a good club or a good schooling setup or things like that?
Yeah, again, goes back to the individual. So if they've got a future in the game at a professional level, we still think education is important, but ultimately the club that they go and potentially sign for will dictate how their education off the field will look. But if the player is slightly below that level, and maybe they should place more emphasis on getting a good education and having a career alongside that in football, then good academics is an important factor for us. Good character reference from previous colleges, and then again a real benefit to one of our previous camps is that we've then taken players who've come for a 1 or a 2 week experience in the UK and are now starting in September with an international football college to study a university degree alongside playing men's senior football and football at a full-time level as well. So we know that these players potentially are not going to be professional athletes, but we want to give them every single opportunity to extend their stay in the game at the highest possible level for them, while still maybe getting an opportunity to be seen or coming away with the real valuable education that's going to serve them for the rest of their life.
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And I think those are the things that young kids need, Everybody's not going to be a footballer or a footballer at the top level. But if you have a good education which could get you a good job so you could earn properly and you could still play the game that you love. You just might not be able to play it at the highest level or full time. And that's really important. Some of us just find it hard to give that kind of information to players. You know what I mean? A player that really wants to be a pro, and you realize he's not going to be that top pro, but it's, you don't want to shut him down too early, or you don't want to really tell him that and he moves away from the game. But I realized that your recruitment focus a lot on marketing in places like Canada, US, in Australia, and so on, right? And places like that. How important is it today to have these players to be more globally rounded, to be exposed to more?
It's massive importance for us. So we really want to try and bring players from all parts of the globe, no matter where they're located, into the UK to give them that cultural experience, to build them up as an individual, and then to give them the opportunity to be seen by whether that be college coaches or whether that be professional coaches from the game. I think a good thing for us is that having a former Premier League manager around your players, and then his coaching team who've been around the professional game for so long, for them to be with you 24/7 for a 2-week period, I think they're going to have a real pretty good idea whether you've got a future at a professional level. Each player will come away with an assessment and development plan from Gary and Stuart. With that assessment and development plan, they will get the next steps outlined for each player. So they will be truthful with the player, they'll be transparent with them, and they'll work with them towards the next step. So even though our last showcase event was November last year, we are still helping players who attended that camp today in their next steps of their journey, and we feel that's massively important.
All right, good stuff. All right, so I don't know if you've ever been privileged to work with Caribbean players, but from the Caribbean player standpoint, what are the advantages a Caribbean player brings to different from the players who are coming from the UK, Central America, the North American players? What advantage do you think the Caribbean players have when they come into that kind of setting?
Yeah, we've had a couple of Caribbean players at a previous institute that I've worked at, and equally they bring good character. They bring normally they've been referred and recommended into us, into the UK, whether that be via yourself or whether it be via other agencies. And again, I think, look, once you get past sort of where a person is from, everybody is with us for the same purpose, and that's to become a better footballer and to seek opportunities. So I think the most important part is it doesn't matter whether you're from the Caribbean, whether you're from the US, from Canada. We've got boys coming in from Mexico, we've got boys coming in from Finland. Once everybody lands and they're residing in the same building and they start to become a bit of a team, we treat everybody the same. So ultimately, we'll adapt to your culture needs, we'll adapt to your way of being, but when they're on the pitch, everybody's getting that same high level performance of coaching.
All right, well, this question is more for me, so that I could put it in my notepad for when I decide to do a showcase. Just give us a brief explanation on a showcase. Let me say a 3-day showcase from start to finish. Our player, how would it start and leading through the days to the end? Just a little brief explanation.
Yeah, I can give you an explanation of what we've got lined up. So would that help if I give you a little flavour of our sort of itinerary for the players coming in?
All right. Yeah.
So again, taking what most sort of 2-week camps should do, it's allowing your players to live, train and play like a professional athlete. So they will get up, there'll be activation sessions, there will then be the main technical coaching session that they will go to, there will be a lunch break period, they will then be back in the gym or on the pitch depending on what day it is. There'll then be a review session with the coaches, and then there'll be some form of group activity. That's kind of a typical day. In our sort of experiential days, one of them, for instance, we will be going to Wrexham University and working with the sports team there to do some pre-season testing. Now with that, we've got an unbelievable relationship with Wrexham Football Club, with the university and with the community. And what we're hoping to do with the pre-season testing is allow that data to be compared against the players at their academy, so that the boys on camp can have a look at where they're at against these players, and then use that as a performance tool to get better from once they've had this data. And then later on that day, there'll be a showcase game against a professional club. So that's kind of like an experiential day. And then on the recovery days, what will happen is there will be some video analysis, there will be sit-down meetings with the coaches, and then there'll be a group trip to certain parts of the UK, whether that be a live pre-season game whether that just be something really social with the group, or whether that's the group just having a little bit of free time away from the pitch and enjoying each other's time. So they're like some of the core elements of that 2-week period.
All right. Well, I have this recording, so I'll just go back over and make sure I take my notes. So what advice would you give a young footballer from Antigua, or any way that our viewers are, and on who has a dream of studying and playing abroad?
Yeah, you've got to, if you've got a dream of studying and playing abroad, you've got to go and experience it at some level first, to first of all find out if that's the right decision for you. And then if it is the right decision, you then need the right contacts and the right network to make that happen. Because probably over the last 3 or 4 years, the international college and playing pathway is growing. It's growing big in the UK, and it's also growing big in Spain and in Europe. So there's going to be many opportunities to study and play. But one, what I'd say is you've got to make sure that the academics are reputable and being delivered by a serious academic institute. And two, the football is delivered by somebody who is either a professional, high-level coach, or have got great links into the game that can give players exposure to that next level as well. So yeah, important tip is to get out and experience it first, and then hook up with somebody, potentially myself or other people like me in the industry, to find the best pathway for them in Europe or wherever that might be.
Well, for our young viewers, I'm sure that this segment might probably get the most likes, because this is, I sure, a lot of players in Antigua's dream to go abroad, whether it is to study and play or to just play professionally. And these showcases like this, is something which we don't really have much in the Caribbean, because we don't have that much professional clubs or professional leagues in our region. So most times we'd have to go into the US, into UK, into Spain, those kind of places, and those have some expenses. But I know that there are people who are willing to invest in those kind of ventures for their children, and people who have been working, to get themselves to that. So I just want to say, Jay, thanks for coming on the show. We really do appreciate it, all the information. We are looking forward to the hearing of this segment, because I really believe that this is a really good segment for young people, young footballers, both boys and girls, to really, listen and understand the things that are needed to get to that next level. Because some of us have never been to that next level, we don't know what to give them. Yeah. And what I'm saying, but now hearing it from somebody that has been at that next level and have all this experience in this particular field would be good. So Jay, nice having you. I'm looking forward to interviewing you again. Maybe after the showcase to see how it went, and hopefully maybe a few Caribbean players that might just happen to pop up. So
let's hope so. Let's hope so. As I say, we've got guys coming from Mexico, from Finland, from USA, from Canada. So let's hope we can add some guys from the Caribbean to the mix.
All right, Jay. So you enjoy the rest of your evening. Nice talking to you, and looking forward to talking again. All right.
Thank you. Bye.
And with that, we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back with the GN Sports Show.
Welcome back. You're watching the GN Sports Show. Thank you so much for staying here with us. In studio is the newly elected president of the Antigua and Barbuda Football Association, Ickford Roberts. He joins us to talk about being the president and what the football fraternity in Antigua and Barbuda can expect. Mr. Roberts, thank you so much for joining us here on the GN Sports Show.
Thanks for being here.
All right, first off, sinking yet that you're the president of the ABFA?
No, not at all. I'm still feeling a bit tired from all the hectic campaigning. We have been campaigning for the better half of three weeks, every night. And right. As you see, the other members of the slate, they're tired, so they're resting right now. But I still have to carry the mantle.
No problem. What do you think resonated with the clubs? Your message that resonated with the clubs that brought them out to vote for you overwhelmingly?
Well, the message we was based on the grassroots, going out making zones, like probably 4 zones throughout the country, and we're going to take the coaches out to that zone, inclusive of the coaches in that zone area. And then we have the female football, which we want to increase participation. And what does it mean to you? What does it mean to you to be, that the clubs put their confidence in your slate and yourself to run the affairs of football in Antigua and Barbuda? It means a lot to me because, as you know, I was a former player, and off the field as well. I'm very capable in terms of organization, management skills, accounting. So I have vast experience in terms of on and off the field.
All right. What do you think mostly the clubs want you to address? I know you talked to a number of those clubs. What was some of the main things that the clubs want your team to address?
The main thing is accountability.
Okay.
That's one, and transparency. That's two, and most of all, the communication that's coming out of the secretariat. Enough information is not reaching out to the clubs, and in addition to the media.
Yeah, and I'm in the media. I can tell you that you have to call for it.
Yeah, so
you have to call for it.
So we want to change all that. So we plan to strengthen that secretariat in terms of the foundation, and then based on the foundation, we start to build out to the different member clubs in terms of adding those members that have the skill on the different committees that is required by the Constitution.
Right. How many committees have you done, man? Let me ask. I'm not sure.
It's about 7 committees.
7 committees.
Yeah.
All right, John?
Yeah, well, let me congratulate you also on Ayre and winning the elections. So, what do you think is like your main priority now you're in office? What do you think is immediate right now?
Well, immediate, we have the under 20 training right now. They're going off in July. So, that would be our main priority in terms of giving the necessary support. And apart from that, as I said, building out the secretariat and finance.
All right. Well, I see you touch a bit on like what you plan to do in terms of youth development, like the 4 zones and going out in the different. But after the grassroots, which grassroots ends at age 12, is there any plans for there on from between 13 years to 19 years?
Yeah, they are
going about, making sure that the kids that come with the grassroots continue their development.
Yeah, we plan to have the youth program in terms of tournaments.
Right.
Coming from the under 15, under 17, right up to the under 20. So we should be seeking sponsorship in terms of having those competition. So they will have the avenue that they can step up from the thing. Also, we plan to coexist with the school league, because I think school league is where we have a lot of children coming out that needs proper assistance in terms of coaching, stuff like that. So we plan to work along with the school.
All right, that's some good ideas. Well, for most of us, and I showed most of the football in public, structure and consistency is key in development, and those are things that we are definitely lacking. So do you all already have a blueprint in terms of or ideas, like for example structured in terms of how y'all probably might run a league, who are the people y'all going to put in place, and like how often, maybe a yearly calendar, do y'all have like something already put together to just kind of implement or put forward to the committees that will be heading up these things?
The team in our campaign spoke about that, but we're still failing you. But what I can say, we plan to have a technical committee.
All right. Yeah. So, Mr. Robert, those are some very good points you make just there in terms of the structure and the consistency with having youth leagues and putting a committee in place to run that. Because I think that is something that we do need, having a committee running that instead of the executive of the football association have to be studying down, going up there and making sure schedule here and field mark and all that. So I think those are some very good points. But off the field, over the years, we have had numerous D license and C license. I think we have 1 B license. So the last time I took a count, there was over 100 coaches in Antigua with license, ranging between C and B. And I'm saying is, if we keep doing C license and B license, is everybody going to have C license and B license? So is there any plans or any thoughts within you and your team to, get those coaches that have had those C license and D license over the years to higher license within B and A and so on, before we started giving more people C and D? You understand what I'm saying? Because a C license and a D license is average coaching, in my opinion. And in order for us to get to the next level, we need to have that B license and A license experience to get us to the next level.
Yeah, but if you realize it's just a certain core of persons that has the A license. So I don't know if that's by design or what, but we need to expand, as you said, more A license. It could be the frequency of courses they have.
Right.
But I know FIFA, as you're aware, FIFA have a lot of these courses, but it depends on the selection, because it seems that the selection is not fair. You understand? So you need to broaden that selection, because coming out of the campaign that we have with the teams, they are not getting enough opportunity to develop in terms of the coaches and in the administration section. So we plan to tap into FIFA courses to expand their knowledge and to increase the pool, especially in the A
license.
Yeah.
I think we have some really good coaches here who I think is capable, again, the A license. And all of us is only, if you do count the national teams that we have in the country, one senior females, one senior male, and then we have U19 boys and girls, that's 4, U17 boys and girls, that's 6, and U15 boys and girls, that will be 8. It's 8 teams, right? And then 14 is basically the 15. So let me say 8. And there's only 8 coaches. And somebody has said, we say 16 coaches, and there's so much coaches here. So by having an A license and a B license, I would think would give us more opportunities to get jobs in other countries around, because we can't, the ABF can't employ all these coaches. You know what I'm saying? And I think if we do have it, it gives us a better avenue to go abroad and maybe go in Europe or the North America, and we could also bring back what we learned here to help to improve the football. But if we don't have that license, we're not going to get the job outside of here. So I think we really do need to get to that, Terry.
That is correct.
All right. You spoke about an all-inclusive administration. Now, the last count was 27-21. So there was 21 clubs that did not vote in your favor. What do you say to some of those clubs that probably didn't think you were the man for the job, but now you get there? What kind of relationship that you want to have with all the clubs here in Antigua and Barbuda?
Well, not only the 21 clubs, but there are clubs that still are members, but that didn't get the chance to vote.
Okay.
Right? For example, Generation X. So as I said, we don't want to exclude anybody. We want to include the majority most of the teams. And when you're talking about development, you're talking about the total development in terms of the admin and the coaches, because what we find now that most of the clubs, they're not really clubs, they're just teams, you know, in terms of the admin setup. So once we empower those clubs, it will be better for the association, so that we can roll out a better development plan.
There's a notion of that you getting to the presidency of the Antigua and Barbuda Football Association, that it comes in quotation, the Generation Next Antigua and Barbuda Football Association. I'm giving you a chance just to dispel those rumors, or just shed some light on people having that view, because I'm sure you heard that already.
Yeah, I heard that, but to me that's nonsense, because I have been associated with Generation Next for quite some time. That's where the notion comes up. But as you said, the president of Generation Next want no part of ABFA. And he always stressed that he will work along with any president. So I don't see no big thing in that, you know, because it's not only me, it's my team. And we practice all-inclusive in our team. So at the table, everybody must have a say. So I can't come and say, look, I want this done, I want that done. It has to be a collective decision.
Yeah, but it has been like that over the years. Past presidents that has been affiliated with clubs, some people tend to think that club gets a better treatment than the other clubs. In life, I've seen parents have favorite children and they have more than one. You understand what I'm saying? So, and somebody just might be in line before somebody. It might only be a one and that person get it, and everybody believe you're favoring that person. But I would want to believe that based on your manifesto, because I've took a read of it, I've followed it, and the whole election throughout the whole process of the last maybe 4 months or so, and I've watched your team, and I'm not seeing that there are people over there who are going to compromise their integrity. You understand what I'm saying? For something that somebody could take away from you. You understand what I'm saying? If you understand where I'm coming from. So I don't see nobody in that team who's going to risk their integrity and the life and the respect they've built for themselves by going against the manifesto. In terms of community support, over the years we usually have, like, Grace Green has a little league, and All Saints have their league running for years, Jennings have a league also. Do you think that the FA would be in view of maybe helping some of these other communities to bring back that kind of football to their communities, to help to bring back that love and that commitment and that view on football?
Yeah, well, this is one thing our team always spoke about, bring back the love. This is one reason we want to try and get football back into recreation now, to expand the spectatorship of the sport. Now, in terms of the communities, yes, we plan to work along with the communities in terms of giving financial assistance where we can. What they need to do, just come with a proper proposal, and then if we can do it ourselves, we will help the system getting sponsorship in that regard.
Okay, all right. Well, I think those are things what we need to keep this sport going, because I would believe that you're from the Villa area, right? And you've learned all your footballing thing throughout that city. You didn't have to go out to get it. It's a lot of people from different communities representing communities, and I think it kind of watered down our football because there's no passion. You don't.
Yes.
When you're going home, you're not seeing nobody from the team. You just play to argue with you on why you did this or why you didn't do that, or
But not only that, but when you have your community leagues, persons that don't normally play football, they get them out to play, and there's where you identify talent. I know a lot of persons get identified by that way because you have a lot of teams in the community, and they go out and seek players within the community.
Right.
So there's where you find one or two talent coming through.
What does change in football in Antigua looks like to you?
The change.
A change from what we're doing now. What does that look like?
Well, as I say, you put the necessary structure in place. You have development for the coaches, referees, all the stakeholders. Make sure that they're up to scratch. Better communication, better accountability, better identification of talent, which is really lacking in this country, because there's a technical director, and most of his time is spent in the office. He has to go out, watch school leagues and so on. So all these encourage the change that we need to see.
I have just one final question. I'm not going to be as harsh as Terry.
I'm not harsh. I just want to know, in terms of over the years, well, I have not had much injuries, but I've seen players who got injuries that they just couldn't come back from due to the fact that they can't afford the appropriate surgeries, or they weren't working for enough money to go and see a doctor on a regular basis, and the association takes so long for the insurance to turn over and all these different things. Is there something that you guys, I believe I see something here manifest in terms of healthcare, so just give us a little bit of feedback on how we are going to improve?
Yeah, matter of fact, as early as next week, we plan to ask for at least 3 quotations from the insurance companies to see what is possible and what is not possible. We plan to seek a doctor that is attached to the ABFA. So once you get injured, you just go and you pay your 20% instead of paying the full amount, and then the insurance will cover the other part of it. So it is important and critical. Also, we plan to seek sponsorship for like the Premier League, First Division, Second Division, and in that plan for sponsorship, in the budget, plan to include a part for insurance. So once you sponsor, you sponsor insurance as well.
Okay. All right. So I have 2 final questions. I almost forget the question. So the first question is the leagues going to be still starting late like it's been starting over the years, and we having conflict with other sports in terms of the different divisions? I just want to,
Yeah.
because that has been a question been buzzing over the years. Even with the Premier League, people invest in a whole pile of money in the Premier League. Because I can speak for my club, we spend in excess of maybe $60,000 a year to make 30 or to make 20 or to make 15. You understand what I'm saying? So I know that has been one of the major talking points over the years, and I know I don't think none of our leagues has an out-and-out sponsor at this present moment. I think the last time we had a sponsor was Handy Motors, along with the bus that we was getting. I think that was the last time, and that's years ago. So I just want to know if there's any plans from your end to increase the prize money, and
Well, in the matter of increasing the prize money, well, you will have to have the ability to do so.
Right, sure.
So once we get into recreation ground and the gate receipts will increase, we will look at increasing that. Just today I met with the officials from FIFA and CONCACAF, and the question was posed to them. They said that they don't see any reason why we can start, because there was a idea banning about because of the transfer window. You have to wait the club licensing, so these stuff have to be in place, and once they're in place we can start early.
Some people used to look at what the national team is doing, or the level of where the national team is, to determine how football is going in the country. What say you when it comes to something like that? Because of course, if our national team aren't getting the results that we want, maybe they're going to look at, the football ain't going anywhere, the football ain't, in that spec. How do you see that dynamic? And what's in place to kind of help our national teams maybe do better?
Hey, I can agree with you, because I don't know the last time the national team won a game, the senior national team,
I'm telling you.
right? And they keep recycling the same coach over and over again. So the TD and the technical committee will have to sit down and look at that and make the proper assessment. Why are we failing? So you can't use the same coach. I'm paying you and you're just not getting any results. So try somebody else. Do the assessment and see what's the situation, because the situation right now, they're bringing in overseas players and we're still not getting results, so something definitely has to be wrong.
Are we continuing with the benefits, or are we continuing with those
local players?
The local players or the players that have paternal linkages to Antigua and Barbuda? Because that's an avenue. You get professionals that way that are playing in some of those leagues. George, you can weigh into. But what do you think about that dynamic, linking the local players that are playing in our leagues and those that are playing professionally with family lineages, family ties to Antigua and Barbuda?
For me, I'm not a technical person or coach. But speaking from my football knowledge, I would prefer sending out homegrown and bringing them back. If you notice the under 20.
Yeah, I was about to tell you that too.
And even our era, you and I went away and we trained on the proper structure and came back. You saw the difference. Now these best, I don't see nothing spectacular extra about them. You understand? But you can see the homegrown when they go out and they come back. You can see a bigger difference.
Who they're playing for?
And that's why the under 20 is having good success now. So if we keep the group of players there, we can be on our way.
Well, I go way in on it. I was one of the ones that got the opportunity to play with the first set of Brydens. And that first set of Brydens were professional footballers. In every aspect of the word, professional footballers. You understand what I'm saying? And I think one of the problems why the Brits and the locals don't mix now is because the Brits we get now just not good enough. In my opinion. That is one. And two, we used to have in the early part of my career, as I said, my overseas players was my friends who left here and went to college. Because those are the players we used to bring back. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bucket, Zico,
Board
and all them players. But no, we don't have these players going out. We do have players that maybe go out to school, minus those that go to England. But those that go to the US, when they go to the US, they don't really come back with that spunk we used to come back, where you guys used to come back with. And I think that is something we need to get back. So we need to get benefits that are professional, not the benefits that are playing professional, that are professional, that want to come here and play good, to carry themselves up a level when they go back to help Antigua to go on, and also the players that we are sending out from here, when they go, they just don't go out for the fashion of it, for the lifestyle of being in school in America, but to learn and to come back and impart that here. And I think those two things are things that we don't get from the players we bring back in.
All right, let's give you the last word.
But it depends on the quality of players they send out. If I'm not mistaken, the QSO team, I think they export instead of import.
Right.
And you see where they reach. The World Cup. So that's an area that we can look at, because being importing and you're spending a lot of money and you're not getting no results. So you have to revisit that. Yeah.
All right, we give you the last word. Message to players, coaches, clubs, supporters on this new era of the ABFA administration.
Well, the message to all the stakeholders, we need the encouragement from all the stakeholders, all the support that we can get to make football the way it's supposed to be, and definitely bring back the love of football in Antigua and Barbuda.
And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen, newly elected President Ickford Roberts, President of the Antigua and Barbuda Football Association for the next 4 years, ladies and gentlemen. Change is coming based on the manifesto. And with that, we take a quick break and we'll be right back with the GN Sports Show.
We would like to thank the sponsors of Generation Next: Fruta, Antigua Masonry Products, Citizenship by Investment Unit, ACT, Flow, Island Photo, and Francis Trading Agency.
And welcome back. We're into the segment of the show where we can't wait for it to start and we don't want it to end. The boss is in the house. Dr. Rick Millis is here with us.
What an introduction. Oh my God, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy of that introduction, but I appreciate it. It's very nice. And I'll dance at one of your weddings.
Doc, I rehearsed that intro whole week originally. But anyway, Doc, we're here this evening and we're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of energy drinks, Doc.
Oh yes, energy drinks.
Energy drinks. I know Terry drinks a lot of energy drinks. He say he just be going home 1 o'clock in the morning. Those kind of hours. You can't go on those kind of hours and 8 hours sleep. So he must need some kind of help now.
Well, I can tell he crashes a lot. You know, that's what happens with energy drinks. It goes up, the energy goes up in about 45 minutes. Less than an hour, your energy is up. I took an energy drink one time. I was about in my 40s. Oh my God, that was like 40 years ago. and energy drinks were just new, so I really didn't know about them.
Which one it was specifically? Do you
remember? I think Red Bull.
Oh, okay.
You know, it was the only one available at that time. And then I was playing a basketball game in a league. Of course, I always play with younger people, so these guys are in their 20s, and I'm in my 40s, trying to keep up. Oh my God, did I get jittery? I was jittery on the court. I thought I was going to die. My heart was going poop, 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 poop. And so everybody doesn't have equal sensitivity to it. And then after about 2 hours, I just crashed. I had no energy at all. That's the problem. And for kids, no way. American Association of Pediatrics says kids under 12, no energy drinks. They should have no caffeine.
None whatsoever.
None whatsoever. It's the developing brain. So what you're really asking is, what does it mean to get energy from an energy drink? Well, one is the sugar high. You know, you get they're full of sugar. And how much sugar is there? Well, in one can of energy drink, it's about 3 times the amount of sugar a kid should have in a day. Right?
What?
In one energy drink, there's 3 times the amount of sugar they should have in a day.
3 times?
Yeah, 3 times.
So
now, for some kids...
Can't they take one energy drink for 3 days, then that?
That's true. No, because it has everything else that is damaging to the developing brain.
Okay.
That's the problem. So the caffeine, so the sugar and caffeine together are really creating the energy. Now, let's talk about caffeine. So I played basketball in college, as you know, on a national championship team, and blah, 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 many, many years ago. And at halftime, they gave us Cokes.
Coke?
That was,
At
my,
halftime,
that was a
they gave
year,
us
Doc.
Yeah, they gave us a Coke.
Coke was the energy drink then.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
They gave us a Coke. And I don't think the research knew what they were actually doing. I think they just wanted to refresh us, and it had a little sugar in it, and it gave you, you know, and they just made us want to feel good at halftime, and we drank it, and it was fine. But now we know that it's okay to take in some caffeine when you're exercising, a small amount. If you're over the age of 12, there you go. If you're over the age of 12, if you're even an adolescent, a Coke, even a cup of coffee isn't going to hurt you. And actually, you get a performance boost from it. You know what the performance boost is? It releases calcium in your muscle. What did calcium in your muscle do? Boing, stronger contractions. Remember these?
Yeah.
Sarcomere,
Right.
the molecules inside the muscles, they cause more of this cross-bridging to occur. The molecular motors inside the muscles, they work better, and you get more force. So, if you are an athlete, let's say even you're an Olympic athlete, and you take a cup of coffee, even an espresso, which has a lot more caffeine, it's going to release more calcium, and you're going to be stronger for your performance. But even when you're training, you're going to be training at a higher level. That means you're going to be able to get to the higher level when you're training. So it doesn't hurt even to have it when you're training or when you're having a game. Now, again, when I was in college, they only gave it to us at halftime, and we didn't have access to much Cokes because we were on scholarships and we lived in a dormitory where they controlled our diet, and they mainly wanted us to drink milk, you know?
Okay.
But the caffeine for a person who's an adolescent or an adult, a small amount of it, you do get a performance boost from it. So
Okay.
it really does work.
Yeah. So, I mean, in my time,
Yeah.
it was oranges and chocolate.
Well, the chocolate has caffeine-like compounds in it. So chocolate has a little bit of caffeine.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, but the caffeine, chocolate, tea, stuff like that, they inhibit some enzymes that cause the cells, like the heart, right, and the muscles that line the blood vessels, that cause your blood vessels to constrict, to contract, and raise your blood pressure, they mimic adrenaline. Remember what adrenaline is? Your stress hormone. So if you take too much of it, it puts your body under stress. Your heart rate will go up, your blood pressure will go up, and some people are sensitive to that. You see? So that's probably what happened to me when I told you that story 40 years ago.
Right.
When I took that energy drink. It was mimicking, right, adrenaline, the stress hormone that we have in our bodies to stimulate stress. So that's not good, because then you go out and exercise, and I could have died.
So caffeine
Yeah.
gives you a rush of energy.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
A rush of energy in your muscles. That's
Yeah,
correct.
Oh,
And a little of that is good.
And a little bit of that is good. So you
Okay.
get a performance boost from that.
Okay.
so can
And
you...
also,
Go ahead.
it makes you a little more alert in your brain. But what's the danger of that for kids?
Bring it home, Doc. Bring it home.
They don't sleep well. In other words, if they have too much of that during the day, even if they have one big energy drink, they may not be able to sleep well at night. Now, what's the problem with the kid not sleeping well at night?
It prohibits his growth.
There you go. It stunts his growth. It stunts his growth. Remember, you need that deep sleep, that deep rejuvenating sleep, that slow wave sleep, I called it, right? To stimulate growth hormone, to help build the muscles.
So I'm learning through our producer that the youth are like the biggest demographic that is targeted for these energy drinks.
Absolutely.
Why is that? They have the most money, or because they're spending their parents' money?
I maybe it's because I figure maybe it's like
Or they're more...
They're not intellectually...
Okay, they don't know yet.
Right, they don't know.
To question it.
Yeah, right.
To question it.
Yeah.
And what are they looking? What do kids
A
look
boost,
for?
Sweet.
Yeah, and what else are they looking for? A quick fix. What's the quick fix for getting better performance out of your sport?
The sugar.
Yeah, you show up and you now take your. You show up and now if you have a little caffeine in you, you might do better than the other kids. And the question is, what happens in this culture in the Caribbean and the United States? How are they affected? These energy drinks are very available here. They're not available all over the world as much.
Okay. Yeah, because I've been to England.
There you go.
And I don't see Gatorade like that.
Okay. Well, Gatorade is one of the good ones. That doesn't have the caffeine.
They have a lot of Lucozade though.
Yeah.
They have a lot of Lucozade in the UK. But in some places, I've been to a couple of clubs too, and they only give them water to drink. They don't give them no sort of energy drink to drink.
There you go. Yeah, it's not as available. So yes, so the marketing here is like marketing in the United States. Let's face it. Where do we get our stuff from?
The United States.
From the United States. So the marketing and the TV ads and all of that are geared more toward marketing these energy drinks as being masculine.
Yeah, but
how about boys? Masculine. You look like you're big and bad, and you can outrun everybody, and you can dunk the basketball.
Yeah, or you put an athlete on some of these drinks, and you say,
There you go.
Remy used this, so I want to shoot like Remy. I want to,
Exactly. And some of that is in the energy drinks. So, for example, almost all the energy drinks have a amino acid in it called taurine. 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 Taurine's naturally in your body, in your muscles, in your brain. It's all over the place. And it calms you down. It actually is good. It's an antioxidant.
Okay.
Right? The problem is when you mix it with high doses of caffeine, it can make, in susceptible people, it can give them cardiac arrhythmias. Not arrest, but arrhythmias. Yes, it can lead to cardiac arrest if you're susceptible enough.
So what's the difference? What's cardiac arrhythmia?
Arrhythmia is an abnormal rhythm. It goes rather than boom, 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 boom the way it should. It goes boom, 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 boom. It's all over the place, right? And that's not good because it makes the heart susceptible to stopping and cardiac arrest. Now, again, that's not common, and that's only going to happen with high doses and in susceptible individuals. The problem is we don't know who's the susceptible individual.
Until you take it.
Until you take it. Now, one way you can judge, and you say, well, is there any cardiovascular disease or heart disease in my family? Well, if you're in the Caribbean with a population of African descent or African Americans in the United States, they have the highest incidence of cardiovascular disease in the world. So almost everybody, has some of that in their family. And so it could be more dangerous, actually, for the population who has cardiovascular disease risk factors in their families.
Oh, okay.
A 15-year-old drinking some of these energy, and the ones you're talking about, I guess I don't think we want to call the name of the ones that we don't want them to drink, but like increase a 15-year-old heart rate through some of these energy drinks. Yes, it gives that buzz.
Yes.
But as you said, the crash would be later.
Is the heart developed enough to take that buzz though?
A 15-year-old?
Maybe that's one of the reasons why they say not to give these younger kids, because maybe their heart is not developed enough to take that instant rush. It might be too much for them.
It could be, but it's more related to the brain.
To the brain.
Okay.
Yeah, it messes with the neurotransmitters, with the mixtures of neurotransmitters in the brain. So, for example, caffeine inhibits receptors known as the adenosine receptors. The adenosine receptors in your brain make you more alert, right? Mm-hmm. But it also, I told you, releases what? Calcium in the muscle. So you're releasing calcium in the muscle, get stronger contractions, it makes your brain more alert, but now it's going to mess with your sleep, right? Isn't that what caffeine does?
Yep.
for some
Yep.
people, not for everybody.
Yeah,
For
but
example, I take caffeine. It doesn't bother me at all. I can go to sleep. No.
I hear most people I know that don't want to drink energy drinks at a certain time, especially like Coke and stuff like that, because they say they don't get to sleep at night.
Yeah.
I drink anything, anytime, really and truly.
I get it. And me too. Me too. Caffeine really doesn't bother me much, but there are people who are sensitive.
Okay.
And we don't know exactly why all the time until it's too late. And they have an abnormal cardiac rhythm. They get fibrillation, something called atrial fibrillation, and all kinds of stuff going on. So for the adolescent, right? For the young adult, having a cup of coffee is perfectly fine right before exercising. Right?
All right.
It's going to get that energy boost. The problem is with all the other stuff in it. Now you also have to be careful what's in those labels, because some of these have natural herbs. Oh, everybody thinks natural herbs are very good for you. Yohimbine, for example.
They're not?
No. Marijuana is a natural herb, isn't it? So my kids used to say, Dad, it's natural. What are you talking about? It's natural, so it's good for you. Duh, no. It's only good for you if that natural herb is doing something, positive for your body. And let's say yohimbine, as I said, mimics adrenaline. So you put yohimbine together with the caffeine. Caffeine is kind of, stimulating the same chemicals that would be stimulated by adrenaline. You're getting a boost, a real boost to your nervous system that's controlling your heart and your blood pressure and things like that. But it is also making you more alert. And then they add the taurine. What did I say taurine does? Calm you down. It's an antioxidant. And that's good. That's good. But the sugar, the caffeine, the yohimbine, or other herbals that are put in there outweigh what the taurine is doing. The taurine could be a little protective, but only a little protective.
Youth that believe that they need it,
Yes.
or they're addicted to it.
Well, that's another thing, the addiction. So nicotine is the most addictive chemical we know.
Okay.
That even more addictive, quicker than heroin,
Even when the four horsemen,
cocaine.
even when the four horsemen says nicotine is not addictive,
Yeah.
and they went in front of the Congress and said,
That's right.
have you seen the movie?
Yes.
With the whistleblower?
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
good,
yeah,
good.
yeah. No, all the evidence in the world is nicotine is one of the most, and I could argue that it's the most addictive, quickly,
Okay. So
of all the chemicals.
So a parent seeing that before every game, his or her child drinking a Boost or a Red Bull to get pumped up and all of that. Is this a red flag? And what should the parent be doing?
Yeah, it's a red flag if the child seems to be needing it all the time.
Okay.
You see? But occasionally for, let's say, a competition, if it's an adolescent or young adult, right?
We're dealing with
Probably
15,
is-
16-year-olds right here.
Yeah,
14, 15, 16-year-olds.
yeah. It's probably not going to hurt them. However, there is a danger of what? That high dose of caffeine, that high dose of sugar, all of that coming together with those other herbals, and now they can have palpitations and not even report it. They could be affecting themselves over a long period of time.
Later in life.
Occasionally, no, nobody's going to die from it, probably occasionally. But if you need it all the time, yes. The other thing it does, it decreases your heart rate variability. It stimulates your sympathetic emergency system.
Okay.
Now, we want our sympathetic emergency system to be stimulated, but not by chemicals. Naturally, when we exercise, we want our body to kick in. We want our brain to control that our sympathetic nervous system needs to be stimulated and how much. Now it gets overstimulated, and over years and years and years and years of that, of course, kids don't think about years and years and years, but that's what we have parents for. Parents, we have to think about the patterns, the habits, that we are letting our kids develop when they are young are going to continue. And now they're going to be more susceptible to cardiovascular disease and, believe it or not, death from all causes. Even if they have cancer, if they have too much sympathetic nervous activity going on, and if somebody has cancer, they're more likely to die from the cancer than somebody who doesn't take those drugs to stimulate their sympathetic nervous system.
And is it true that maybe sometimes they would want something stronger?
Gateway, gateway, and it leads to other things. It can't. Yes, it does.
Okay.
That does happen. That does happen.
So when you get addicted to, let me say what, they have this little energy drink thing, a 5-hour energy thing, a little pouch thing, a little bottle like that.
Oh, pouches, there, yeah.
Yeah, so some people, I back in, when those things came out first and I was a player, it had players that come every game with one of those.
Yeah,
and then we go to
5-hour energy.
The 5-hour energy thing, and we just go out and warm up, and then we come for the warm up, like, got that down. And for some reason, they think, that they energize the body, they can't tired. You understand what I'm saying? And then, so no matter how much, if they come into the game and they don't have that, they're not reaching to that game until they get that. And I'm like,
could be from a placebo effect.
I don't think it works. I think it's a mindset with them 5-hour energy thing and those little tablets, jinxing tablet thing. I think it's a mind.
Well, no, it probably has some herbals in it that are like yohimbine and the things that we're talking about here.
But me probably allergic to high then. I'm telling you, I had to be allergic to high because I take the same jinxing little tablets thing and I don't feel
Nothing.
different.
Oh, okay.
And I take the 5-hour energy, I don't feel no different. I go out, I run hard for 45, 50 minutes and I don't feel no extra nothing.
Interesting.
And I don't take it and I go out and do the same thing.
Yeah, well, you may metabolize it quicker or something.
I just watch.
But there may be not. You're right. Some of it may be psychological that they think they're getting
from
a boost from it.
As I say,
I'd have to look at the ingredients. Though.
A lot of my friends used to come with that little part. They come with 2 tablets in. It's a ginseng something, and then it's a 5-hour energy. And then they're like, all right, so I go and try it. It did nothing for me. I didn't feel no different. I tried it for a couple of weeks and then tried this week and it didn't do nothing. I tried this week, I didn't get nothing. Next week I tried, I didn't get nothing. And then so I just stop and just go off on my own.
Okay, Doc, if, just in case, or 15 or 16-year-old like Generation X can't use the energy drinks, what do you recommend as pre-game?
Okay, now, and so this goes back to the culture, you know. In many cultures, kids get exposed to coffee at a young age, and it's not a problem. Like when they sit down at a meal. The kids here in the Caribbean, when they sit down at a meal with their parents having a coffee, might they have a little coffee with a little milk in it?
The most you might give is a tea. Some tea, but we don't do coffee. We don't give kids
tea
coffee.
has caffeine in it too.
Yeah, we don't give kids
coffee. Some Milo, that sort of thing. Let's check it out, Doc. Let's check it out. Sugars, dietary fiber, protein, sodium, calcium, vitamin. Listen, you're not going to mess all Milo's.
No, so it's not. No, so this is not technically an energy drink.
It's not.
No. It doesn't qualify as
but they have the powder that makes the tea.
Way, okay.
They have the powder, the Milo powder. You can make the tea.
Oh, okay.
And you make the tea with. But you're not going to mess our biology up.
By the way, it's a misconception that sports drinks and energy drinks are the same. They're not. The sports drinks are like the Gatorades, the electrolytes, and all of that. But they don't have caffeine and all this other stuff in it. You know. So yes. So this is probably
energy good. This is energy for good.
Natural energy.
The Gatorades, sports drinks,
like a Coke,
and Red Bull with wings is an energy drink.
Yes, that would be the energy drink, and that's what you have to really be careful of.
Okay.
But these other drinks, there's plenty of them out there. You have to read the labels, and if there's no caffeine and not a lot of herbals in there, then you're not probably also going to get the boost that you're looking for. So yes, in your culture here, many cultures, kids start drinking coffee at a young age with their parents, and that doesn't hurt them, does it? Right? It doesn't hurt them to have a cup of coffee, right? And so my advice to the parents, no, a cup of coffee, a small cup of coffee for a kid who's over the age of 12 is not a big deal. And probably under the age of 12, a little bit of tea, a little bit of coffee, not going to hurt them, but you don't do it on a regular basis.
Okay.
Although the American Academy of Pediatrics said no caffeine for any kid under the age of 12 because it messes with their brain development.
Oh, okay.
Get it? So you have to use some judgment. You have to use some judgment.
I'm not really a coffee or tea person, so
Yeah.
my son skipped that whole tea process. Yes. But
Yeah, mine as well.
he energy drinks though. He Red Bull
Oh, he
or
does.
the Arizona extra energy. He drinks those kinds. But he's 19, 20 now. I never really give him those. In the younger age, I used to buy him the Gatorade, Lucozade. He doesn't get those, but now he's more of the energy drinks for him.
And how do you know if they are addicted to it? Then they're going to crash. They're going to have trouble sleeping. They're going to get fatigued easily. Eventually, they're going to, let's say, start out in a sports competition, and it's in one of your football games, and they're going to have a lot of energy in the beginning, but by the end of the game, second half,
Done.
they're done. You ever seen that with kids?
Of course, I've seen that.
Okay, well, it might be that those are the kids on the energy
And
drink.
then maybe it could be those kids not fit either.
Yes, that could be too.
Oh.
That could be too. Well, tell me what's going on here. Do you see kids actually drinking it when they,
Oh yeah.
I don't see.
when they come to practice?
I don't see kids. Most of our kids at Generation X
Yes,
come with water or
good.
Gatorade.
yes.
They don't come with Red Bull or Arizona Energy. I've never seen a kid at Generation X. And in the rural community where I'm from, where I coach another team down there, I'm the one providing the refreshment.
Also, it's expensive,
So-
so the kids may not have the money to buy it. You know,
I Gatorade and these energy drinks about the same.
Yeah. But
It is?
if they see someone, like an older person, drinking something
Yes.
before they play, they're going to be like, hey, I'm going to try that, before
Yeah.
my game as well, see if it works.
Everybody wants-
And I think that was for us as well.
Yes,
When we saw
exactly.
someone drinking a Boost or whatever, we'd want to drink something before you know.
Exactly.
I've always afraid energy drinks, to be honest with you. I know I wasn't the strongest. So I know why my heart crank out. That means I used to stay away from the booze and all them things.
Yeah.
I never parties. I probably never drank a booze, to be honest.
So you have to be careful of the caffeine. You have to be careful of caffeine and taurine together. You have to be careful of herbals that can mimic adrenaline. You have to be careful of nicotine now.
Mixed with something.
Mixed with something else, and now the vaping, people who might be starting to think that nicotine is safe. Yes, nicotine is safe, is not going to cause you, if it's pure nicotine, it's not going to cause you cancer. Okay, that's a good thing I think we're clearing up.
I don't know any other commercial that the lady with the hole in her throat,
Yeah, that's good.
and she's speaking from the thing right there.
Yes.
I don't know any other commercial that can turn you away from smoking than that commercial.
Yes.
But people still smoke after that. Though.
Yeah, but they don't show it very often. That's the problem. They got to show that more.
Yeah,
often.
I've seen that commercial a couple of times.
Yeah, when she's speaking to the thing.
Yes.
Yeah,
That is horrible.
To be honest,
I'm telling you.
you're like, you watch something happen to someone. So, for example, that same
Yeah,
commercial,
yeah.
you see what smoking done to her, and people still going and smoke.
Right. And
How?
why? I mean, we have people, that we know that people generally think it's going to happen to the next guy, but it's not going to happen to me. I'm going to escape it.
All right, Doc, we've come to the end of another riveting conversation.
Wonderful.
Learning from you. I hope parents and young athletes take those were your words of advice and use them in their everyday lives, and especially with energy drinks.
And you guys too.
Yeah, of course.
You too.
Hey, no,
Well,
but
I don't have to worry about
listen,
you.
listen,
You're not going to do that.
listen, for some reason, I've never seen in my life sour, so drinking or smoking anything. As long as I've known him, I've never seen him drink or smoke anything. And I know he's never seen me drink or smoke anything. Yeah, so I think you're talking. Yeah.
I'm not preaching to the
You're not preaching to the. No, honestly, and of course we have friends that do it, right?
Yes.
But for some reason, it just didn't hit me, and
Yeah.
I don't think it hit Sowers yet.
It flew over my head.
Yeah,
Totally
me
flew
too.
over
I
my
mean,
head.
for example, when I was in school, everybody was drinking beer, everybody was smoking marijuana, and I never got anything out of it.
Yeah,
Did I try it? Yes, I tried it a little bit.
The most
you
I
said,
had-
it didn't do anything for me.
Yeah, when friends go out and so on, I'm drinking Vitamalt, and everybody thinking, why are you drinking Vitamalt? You know what
Now,
I mean?
I'm glad you brought up the Vitamalt. Before we close,
Oh, sorry.
tell me about Vitamalt. I came from the United States here 12 years ago. Never heard of Vitamalt, right? And then I'm out playing basketball in the heat, and I see my guys I'm playing with. You know, these are teenagers and people in their 20s, and they're all drinking Vitamalt.
I think that was my beer, because as I said,
Yeah.
everyone was drinking.
But it's all
beer,
vitamins, isn't
beer
it?
and all of that. I don't know.
Honestly, we have no idea.
You know.
My drink was ginseng though. When
Okay,
I'm
see,
out,
see,
my drink
okay,
was ginseng.
something like that,
I'm
something
not
like
a
that. Ginseng and Vitamalt.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
well, people, like I gave blood the other day, and the nurse was like, "Oh, drink a Vitamalt to restore the blood that you lost."
So it might have some ginseng in it. Ginseng, did you
Oh,
say
some-
No,
that?
drink. No, that's a different
that's a-
drink.
that's
Oh, it's a different drink.
Yeah, that's a separate drink.
Vitamalt has a lot of vitamins and a lot of sugar. I know that because I tasted it. It's very,
Yeah,
very
but
sweet.
I think they're saying it shouldn't be drank casually, like that. You know, like
Yeah.
like a water or Gatorade or something like that. But
Yeah, but
some people do because they don't
I-
want to drink a beer. They don't want to drink.
by the way, when you
alcohol or
take
anything.
very high doses of vitamins, right, it makes you feel like, you got an energy boost, but it really doesn't. Most of the vitamins, what do? You urinate them out. It goes out in your urine, so you have very expensive urine.
That's why we buy it. All right, Dr. Rick, thank you so much for joining us here on the GN Sports Show. Always knowledge-based and something that we can learn from. All right, we'll be right back with more here on the GN Sports Show.
And that's it for this week's show here on the GN Sports Show. We had young U15 footballers in the house. We also spoke to showcase organizer in the UK, Terry.
And certainly the newly elected president of the Antigua and Barbuda Football Association. You heard his plans going forward for the next 4 years.
Yes, definitely. And our boss was in the house, Dr. Rick himself, educating us on the dangers of giving sports drink or energy drinks, I should say, to young athletes. We'd like to thank our viewers for watching this week's show, and we're looking forward to seeing you back next week here with me and Terry and the whole crew on the GN Sports Show.
Thanks for watching.
It's their time to shine on the GN Sports. So grab your gear, lace up those shoes. It's time to show the world what you can do. On the GN Sports Show, you'll find your light. With every step, you're reaching new heights. GN Sports, ho! GN Sports, where the youth lead the way. Champions of tomorrow, making waves today. From ages 5 and up, we help them grow. It's their time to shine on the GN Sports Show. Yo, GN Sports Show, yo. Yo, GN Sports Show. Yo, GN Sports Show, yo. GN Sports Show. So grab your gear, lace up those shoes. It's time to show the world what you can do. On the GN Sports Show, you'll find your light with every step. You're reaching